Welcome to the Catholic Life Coach Podcast. My name is Carla Fitz. I'm a certified life coach, wife, and mom of two beautiful little girls and a handsome little boy. My hope for this podcast is to support and empower other Catholic women to live their most authentic life, to share life coaching tools from a Catholic perspective in order to help you live a more fulfilling and aligned life filled with peace, joy, and abundance. Let's get started. Hello, my loves, and welcome to this episode. I am so excited to be here. This month, I had decided to do a theme, talk about how life coaching can truly enhance your life and how it can shift your perspective of life in a way that you're able to connect and relate and live your life in more unity with God. And I do so within my programs with a Catholic center mentality where, yes, I am teaching you self-help and I'm teaching you how your mind works and I'm helping you to see what it is that's happening in your mind that is creating your current reality. And I wanted to continue with that theme a little bit. So, the first episode that I did, I separated life coaching from therapy from consulting, and all those things. If you have not listened to that episode, go back and listen to that one. If you're interested in knowing more the difference in what it is that I do in life coaching and what life coaching actually is, especially with a Catholic take to it. But this past week, I also had an amazing guest, Jill Simons. And if you have not listened to that podcast, go listen to it. It was so good. She is brilliant. And she talked about charisms. And charisms are those gifts from the Holy Spirit that are meant to be used for the people in your life to grow our church, to grow our community, to add value to the people that are in our life. And I love that episode because in it, it's so clear to see how important it is to fully step into the desires that God is putting in our hearts. Because a lot of the times, the way charisms manifest in our life, in our daily life, is by either being a desire or feeling out of alignment. So when you're feeling out of alignment, it's because you're not living in within those charisms, those gifts that God is giving you on purpose for a purpose. And this week, I wanted to talk about the importance of fasting. This might sound like it has nothing to do with the rest of it, but it does, I promise. During Ash Wednesday, our priest talked about the importance of fasting. And I want to read to you an excerpt that he shared that is something that Pope Francis shared. And I thought, wow, what a brilliant thing to say. A lot of times we think about fasting in the terms of food, right? We fast on Ash Wednesday and on Fridays and on special days in order to offer a sacrifice and in order for us to be preparing our body, mind, and soul for this special journey that we have in front of us, which is Lent, right? We are encouraged to fast from food, and some of us fast from sugar, some of us fast from social media, right? But Pope Francis talked about it in this way, and I wanted to share this with you and then go into the podcast. He says, fast from hurting words and say kind words. Fast from sadness and be filled with gratitude. Fast from anger and be filled with patience. Fast from pessimism and be filled with hope. Fast from worries and have trust in God. Fast from complaints and contemplate simplicity. Fast from pressures and be prayerful. Fast from bitterness and fill your hearts with joy. Fast from selfishness and be compassionate. Fast from grudges and be reconciled. Fast from words, be silent and listen. I'm going to let you sit there for a second because those words, that encouragement to fast from these things that sometimes we do unconsciously and instead step into purpose. Lent is a season of preparation. Lent is an opportunity for us to grow in a relationship with God. And the reason why I thought all of these things were so beautifully said in amazingly related to life coaching is because that is exactly what I do inside of my programs. So many of my clients come to me worrying, stressing, telling themselves words that we would otherwise never say to someone we love, but we tell them to ourselves. My clients come with me with resentment for their past life. They come to me wanting to change something that they can no longer change. And in the process, I help them heal so that they see how God has been present in their life in each and every step of the way. They come to me with a lot of worries, focusing on what's going to happen if I do this, if I do that. I cannot tell you how much I relate to this one because I am a worrier, constantly worrying, thinking about the worst case scenario. I think it's very natural, it's very human for us to be there. But if we make it a habit to fast from these things, our lives transform. So, when I talk about life coaching being an opportunity for you to transform your life from the inside out, I don't say that lightly. Because what we do inside of life coaching is exactly this. We practice letting go of hurtful words that you tell yourself, practicing the same limiting beliefs that you have been practicing for a very long time, and that are the reason why you have created the current circumstance you're in. It is not that God doesn't want more for you, it's that you have been believing a set of beliefs that simply have led you to create this current circumstance. However, the circumstance does not define you. What defines you is how you identify yourself. Do you identify yourself as a worthy, loved, beloved daughter of God? And if you do not, we need to work on that one. I hope you fast from sadness so that you can practice gratitude instead. Because when we are focused in our lack, and I talk about this in the podcast a lot, what happens is that we focus our minds, our day to day in and out on what we do not have and what it's not working versus leaning into feeling grateful and practicing gratitude. The next thing is the patience piece. We think that once we get there, the grass will be greener. And in life coaching, what I help you do is see the potential and the opportunity that is present in your life in this very moment so that you can start taking steps forward towards your future, knowing that there's no rush, knowing that you are allowed to be happy, fulfilled, abundant right now. And in doing so, you are able to move forward knowing that God's got you versus making it happen, versus being grabby and graspy and just hurrying so that you can feel better. I help you feel better now. When you break free from these things that are taking a hold of our lives, worry, regret, anger, sadness, discouragement, self doubt, self sabotage, all of those things, the moment that you let go, the moment that you start recognizing that you have a choice, that you have authority because you are a beloved daughter of God, and because God created you in his image and likeness, you are able to fulfill that mission that God has put in your heart because those desires are there for a reason. But when we spend so much time in sadness, in worry, in doubt, in fear, we are not able not just to see his possibilities, but to take action and step forward in faith and in hope. It is so much harder. And I love this encouragement from Pope Francis because that's it. Fasting from food, fasting from social media is powerful. But when you start fasting from worry, doubt, self sabotage, when you stop spending so much time there, your mind is able to fully open and to fully see the possibilities that God has for you. That is also the way in which we're able to see with more clarity what is the right step for us to take next. Instead of feeling like we have no choice but to be feeling stuck where we are at, and there's no other option but to be here, to see our current circumstance as a problem versus an opportunity to learn something. So if you are looking for something to fast during this Lent, think about these things. What are some of the things that you spend too much time in and you'd rather not spend so much time into? This is no different than some of us who want to quit eating sugar and we just want to have sugar have such a hold in our life, right? We fast from it. We spend time so that we can clean our lives up in order for us to grow in connection and in relationship with God. That is the ultimate purpose of fasting, right? We want to grow in unity with God. So is it that you're using hurtful words towards others or towards yourself? Are you spending more time in sadness, in the doom and gloom of life? Do you have resentment towards others or towards yourself? Is it hard for you to see the positive outcomes, to dream? Are you spending too much time in pessimism? Fast from that. Are you spending too much time worrying, overthinking, doubting yourself, and doubting Him? Are you spending too much time complaining about what you don't have and what is not working, of why this is happening, or the weather? Are you putting too much pressure on yourself? Are you putting too much pressure on your business, on your marriage, and not praying enough? Are you spending too much time in bitterness, selfishness? And what I mean with selfishness is, are you spending too much time in your head not doing what God has asked you to do? Are you avoiding doing something that He asked you to do that would benefit those around you? That's part of being selfish as well. We are selfish when we want to keep our own gifts to ourselves in being safe, quote unquote safe, so that other people don't see us because we think that that's the better way so that we are being quote unquote humble. But in doing so, we prevent the value that we are meant to be creating in the world from being created. That is selfishness. When we choose to keep our talents, our gifts, and our callings to ourselves and not share it and not let God's light be shining in the world so that we feel a little more safe. That is the opportunity to be compassionate with ourselves. Of course, we have doubt. Of course, we have thoughts. Of course, we are scared. But also offer yourself the compassion of helping others. When we are in our heads too much, when we spend too much time in doubt and self-doubt, one of the things that I think is so beneficial and transformative is to do something for someone else. This is where I think in this line of fast from selfishness and be compassionate is such an opportunity. Practice focusing on someone else and offering the value that you're meant to be creating to them. The last two are, do you think you spend too much time holding on to the past versus dreaming for the future? Do you spend enough time in silence? And if you don't, practice that. It is in the silence that we are able to hear God clearly. He doesn't move in the busyness. He does, but it is really difficult for us to hear Him in the busyness of our lives. So in this Lent season, practice being in silence, calming down your schedule. Practice fasting from the things that take you away from Him, from the things that are preventing you from becoming the woman God is calling you to be. So this is how this relates. When you are working with me one-on-one in my group coaching programs, you are being supported in order for you to learn how to fast from these things, to spend less time picking up the thoughts that push you down rather than uplift you. Life coaching is there to increase your relationship with Him, to free up all the clutter in your mind that keeps you from seeing the potential that you have, the calling that you have, and the relationship that God is calling you to have with Him. My loves, I want to encourage you to utilize this Lent season to fast from the things that prevent you from being with Him fully, from living a life that is fulfilling to you. And the way that life is fulfilling is when we truly step into the callings that He's placing in our hearts. I'm excited for you, and I would love to hear what it is He's calling you to do. Reach out to me in Instagram at The Catholic Life Coach, and I cannot wait to see you next week. And I'm sending you so much love. Until next time, God bless. Thank you so much for listening. If you are ready to dive deeper into creating an aligned life with God at the center of it all, I want to invite you to a one-on-one consultation call with me. This is your chance to explore what is possible for you and to take the next step towards living with more clarity, peace, and joy. Sign up today. The link is in the description. I also want to invite you to leave a review if you have been enjoying these episodes, and make sure to share it with a friend. That way God can reach more and more amazing Catholic women. All right, until next time, God bless.